Well, welcome folks. It's Heather and Eric with the Additive Guru channel. And today we want to talk a little bit about something that most people don't think about. You know, on the channel we talk about all the advanced technology, the manufacturing, aerospace, automotive. But one of the things that most people don't realize is some of the humanitarian aspects that can be accomplished with additive manufacturing and really just low-cost available 3D printers that you can get off Amazon and right off the shelf. And they can really be used in a very, very powerful way to impact people's lives. Heather, you have a product that you've actually printed off. Tell us a little bit about it in terms of what it's going to mean in terms of developing countries and folks who don't have access to higher-end medical devices.
Yeah, so what we have is a medical grade stethoscope. Acoustic-wise and everything, it works just as well as the leading brand. That's about $200. It's made for about $2.40 with the printed parts, the silicone tubing, and the earbuds. And so being able to take it to the developing countries, you know, they'll be able to afford this when they can't afford $200 stethoscopes for each of their doctors, and still get that same quality to be able to diagnose and treat.
Now, is this something that you designed or were you just able to download and print?
I was just able to download and print. They had made it so that it would be available open and just for free and works just as well.
Cool. Now, and that's something to think about. You know, here we have a product that many in developing countries don't even have access to, and yet this file has been sitting out there for probably over a year, maybe longer than that. And all it takes is someone who has a 3D printer and the know-how to actually put it together. So, especially since the printers nowadays that are commercially available are fairly reliable, even the low-cost ones, you're looking at the ability to create a device like this and make it possible for folks who would never have any other option to have it. And we're talking about more than just the stethoscope, right? There's some other things that can be done. Tell us about some of the others.
Well, we also have a water filter. It uses solar power, so just condensation. The dirty water goes under the bottom. The condensation causes it to come back down, and the purified water ends up in the cup and then comes out the tube. So that they can have purified water, like in Haiti. They're surrounded by water, but none of it's usable.
Right.
So they've got this one, and it's real simple. And then there's also the other one that you'd be able to use charcoal to be able to have your own water filter.
And so, in the charcoal specifically, I think in the article that we saw, the charcoal was actually just coming from, firewood that was burned up, correct?
Yep.
Right. So you're basically talking about just getting ash and using that as a charcoal filter in this easily printable device to actually filter out water. Another thing that I really like about this device is that, you know, it's made out of something that is readily available as trash. You know, we're talking about a 2-liter bottle here, but you just print the one part, add a little piece of tubing, and put your dirty water in there, and then let the actual solar power, essentially of the sun, and you know, a lot of these countries we're talking about are, you know, very hot temperature countries.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have the ability to just evaporate the water, and as it comes down, collect it due to good old-fashioned condensation, especially in the evenings. So, and the other cool thing is too, if a person knows a little bit more about the printing than just the printing, they know about the design, they could turn around and take this design and enhance it for other applications, correct?
Yep.
You know, other types of tubes, other types of gallon jugs, those kind of things. So that just shows you, once again, the printers make it possible to do, or basically a barrier removal of things that you can make just time and time again. And then this design has been sitting at what, 2 or 3 years available?
About 3.
Yeah, and so there it's been, just again waiting for someone to be able to use it and take it to those who need it. So, and that's not to speak of the number of braces and supports. We've seen everything from ankle braces, wrist braces that are totally 3D printable off a low-cost piece of equipment. And what kind of person gets, you know, for example, the printer, maybe use an Ender 3 on some of these. What's the price tag of that right now?
The Ender 3 is about $200.
Yep.
Then some of them were done on the Prusa, but they could just as easily be on the Ender 3. And that one's less than $1,000.
Yep. So just think about the ability to take, if you had the skill set, to actually go on a mission trip or team up with FEMA and go to a place that doesn't have resources like this and just take the printer and just take the material that you could use with it. Now, of course, a person would keep in mind in terms of materials, they would use like an FDA-approved material, a filament, for some of this application, but you could actually make a huge impact on folks' lives by reducing that barrier of production. And it could be printed right on the spot. And the other thing is they can actually keep improving the design. You know, folks could actually take the stethoscope design and even make it better over time. Any other products that are out there that would kind of fall into this humanitarian kind of concept?
Well, we've got the water ones, and then we've got the stethoscope, you know, your medical devices and all. Right now they're building the concrete houses in 3D printing, and that would be great for emergency housing after a natural disaster. And 3D printed solar panels they're working on, and
probably some others.
Yeah.
Probably some others. And more added on a monthly basis because, again, with the technology, it's barrier removal. So it's something to think about out there when you're considering the skills and what 3D printing is capable of doing, is just to realize there's some simple things out there that the more additive manufacturing drivers we have out there, the more impact we can make on people's lives. You know, case in point, so for the water filtration process, what is it, roughly around 800 million people go without fresh water every year? And what I think you're saying, roughly around 4 million actually die of waterborne diseases. So, I mean, that's a huge impact that a person can make just by bringing 3D printing skills to the table in doing something and to help the fellow man. So thanks for watching. Check out some of our other videos and see some other material we have out there. Hopefully this will give you something to think about and see what else might be a possibility for you in additive manufacturing. We'll see you.